Well, it might be Six Nations Day for the women players of Great Britain, but it's not the only big championship that kicks off today. We're here in Plymouth for the 2023 Inter-Services Rugby Union Championship. Kick-off today here at Brickfield Stadium. Of course, we've got the men later on with a 3:15 kick-off, but before that, we're looking forward to some action from the women's teams from the Royal Navy, who are the hosts, and the Royal Air Force. Looking forward to a cracking game, I can tell you. And joining me now is Jade Mullin, who is, of course, the Army captain. And Jade, we prized you away from Aldershot this morning to come down and join us. And I'm sure you'll be doing a bit of a scouting mission as well ahead of the Army's first game. But looking forward to this one.
Yeah, no, I'm very grateful for the opportunity. It's obviously always exciting to support women's rugby, but even better forces rugby, and to see the Navy women today go against the RAF should be an exciting game, and I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, this pitch, it's a bit of a glue pot. They've obviously had a lot of rain down here in the southwest. A very different sort of game from what we might be expecting in a couple of weeks' time at Gloucester on the 4G and, of course, Twickenham.
Yeah, it does look a bit muddy here today. I much rather a 4G pitch, a bit more of a faster game. But I'm sure both teams will go out and put on a show for us today, so I'm looking forward to it.
And lots of great players on show. Of course, the RAF without their internationals today, who are otherwise engaged in international duty. Do you think that's going to affect maybe how the RAF perform against the Navy?
I don't think you can depend on like certain players, so they really just need to come together as a team. You have to play with what you got, unfortunately. Like, you know, last year they lost Amy due to injury, so you have to adapt and overcome, and I'm sure they'll go out today as the 23 that they are and go and put on a good performance together.
Jay, thanks very much. I'm looking forward very much to hearing your comments throughout the course of the women's match, which is kicking off very, very shortly. Let's hear, though, shall we, the views now coming from the two camps, starting with the RAF's John Wilding and Sam Cuff from the Royal Navy.
Well, look, Sam, you're the head coach for Royal Navy Women's Rugby. What are you expecting? Because last year we saw the girls really narrow that gap between yourselves and the Royal Air Force.
Yeah, well, we're hoping to take a step forward from there, really. We felt that the games we've had, last couple of games, have been really competitive for us. The girls hopefully have learned some lessons from the games last year. We've taken quite a lot, some video work and sort of talking with them about them allowing the other teams back into the game, really, and how we can stop that from happening this year. So we're hoping we can start fast and get ahead of them, then hopefully this year we'll be able to keep the lead for all the way through. So.
One disadvantage perhaps for your players is that geographically they're not based near any of the elite clubs. I know that the Army and the Royal Air Force do benefit from their location, and that they can play for some of the Premiership sides, for instance. How do you overcome that?
So we have to rely on the girls to do a lot of personal motivation for that kind of stuff, and a lot of the girls travel. We've got girls that are travelling an hour and a half 2 or 3 times a week to go and train at a higher level club just to push themselves that bit more. Girls that are playing in clubs away sort of at their home address rather than their work address, so they can play at a higher level and things. So it's that personal motivation for them to push themselves higher, and luckily we've got the girls that wanted to do that. So
in terms of playing personnel, you've got a wealth of experience. Rose Dixon is skipper today, and Sam Alderson at fullback. She offers so much. And Sportswoman of the Year for the Royal Navy a few years ago, who can play both codes. And the fact that she's at fullback, she can see what's happening.
Yeah, I was coach first time around when Sam got her debut, strange, weird, bizarrely enough, but to have such an experienced player who's played fly half and fullback so many times just offers us, as I say, a lot of experience, a lot of options, but also for someone like Chloe Sopp, who's playing at 10 for the first time into services, just that bit of reassurance, bit of guidance, and a bit of sort of support from fullback that they can interchange and they can work around. So yeah, it's been really good.
It's fantastic. We've got a double header down here in Plymouth. Heavy old pitch though. How do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, we'll say we played on it last week, and I know they've played a few games on it since then. I'm just pleased the rain stopped. It's going to be hard work, I think. Second half might be a bit of a slog, and that's why I say fast start is going to be really key, because trying to come from behind on this pitch I don't think it's going to be very easy. So
out of the blocks quickly then, and hopefully a couple of tries, have the Air Force thinking about things. How do you think this contest is going to go today?
I think it's going to be really tight. I come into this having not seen a lot of the girls for the last couple of years, so they've been a new thing, and I've not seen any of these RAF girls, so I don't know how they play, I don't know how, and they've obviously got a lot of new caps in today, so they could spring quite a surprise in the way they want to play. I think it's going to be tight, these games, when sides are close, the games are always tight, score here or there, so hopefully come out on the right side of it.
Sam, thank you very much, good luck.
Thank you.
I'd like to say that we've got Big John Wilding, head coach for RAF Women. Going into this campaign, where would you assess your side? I know last year you had a few people disappearing, and of course this year as well, you're missing some of your stars due to the start of the Women's Six Nations.
Yeah, so obviously Amy and Karis are playing today. Sarah Bonner would be playing, but she's injured, so we're missing them. Sian Williams, a long-time service, retired at the Defence World Cup last year, and a couple of other players, Ruth Harper and everything, retired. So we were in a bit of transition, but our development program's found 10 or 12 players who've got a lot of exciting, a lot of potential. So we're getting 9 new caps in our 22 today. So the future is exciting, but with anything like 9 new caps, it's the first day you play your first inter services. We'll just see how it goes. So we've had a good build up. We played Henley and Leicester Tigers, and we did all right. But we did, today's about the result.
Of course, those high-profile absentees might not be here, but what they do is pass on so much information when they are around, and that feeds the group, doesn't it?
So they're a real tight group, even with the new girls in. So Amy and Karis and Sarah Bonner have been in touch with the girls all week. And they're a tight group, so in the background there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of in one-on-one chats and whatever being shared. So they're here in spirit, definitely, and you can't do without that. You can be whatever you want to be as a coach, but when you've got players of that level putting thoughts into people facing the Navy for the first time, it's brilliant.
Recent record against the Royal Navy is a very good one. Last year the gap closed marginally, didn't it? So you have to keep on it today. 100%,
and we're expecting a very tight game. I mean, a lot of people are telling us because of history you'll do well. I think that's been disrespectful to the Navy. They got some coaching teams together in the last couple of years that have really brought the players on, allied with a group of players that are hungry for actually turning it around. And they play good rugby, and they're good players. I had the privilege of coaching some of them in the Defence World Cup, and do you know what? They're really good players. And my players are under no illusion. This is not a turn up and win. This is we're going to have to fight for anything we get today.
And John Wilding there. talking to Julian Evans. The views from the two coaches you've just heard, and as you can see now, the players coming out onto the pitch then for the start of this Inter-Services Championship for 2023. The women's with the RAF leading the team out and the Royal Navy just following. And time for me to introduce then our two commentators today. You've heard from Jade already, but also Scott Eborn joining us as well. Scott and Jade, welcome along. Let's hope for a great game.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. Two absolute dynamite head-to-heads today. Kick-off at 12 o'clock for the women's and then 3 o'clock for the men's. So we do hope you stay with us throughout. And we're hoping for a good crowd as the afternoon draws in as well.
Yeah, I think we'll get obviously the crowd will start to build up as the morning progresses, as we build towards the men's game as well with the 3:15 kickoff. But wherever you are around the Forces world, delighted to have you with us. And don't forget, we'd like to know where you are. We'll be keeping in touch with where you're watching the Inter-Services Championship for 2023. I know you'll introduce the officials very shortly for us, Scott, but we've got the VIPs as well who are going to come out onto the pitch to be introduced to the two sets of players today, and a very senior group of gentlemen and ladies coming out as well to be introduced very shortly to the players. And I mentioned the officials will be talking. They're all from the Army. They've come today with Captain Rob Hitch is going to be refereeing, but I'll get Scott to introduce them very, very shortly as we just wait now for the VIPs to make their way out. And we're talking about the chair and presidents of both the Royal Navy and RAF rugby unions out on the pitch, taking this very, very seriously indeed. The first Sea Lord, of course, is the president of the Royal Navy. He'll be here later on to welcome the players. Time now then for the players to be received, and coming out for the Royal Navy is the chairman of Royal Navy Rugby, that's Rear Admiral Steve Morehouse. Vice President is Captain Susie Nielsen, and also the MD of the sponsors here today, that's the Roden Schwartz, that's Gary Mackay, and for the Royal Air Force, Air Marshal Sir Jerry Mayhew and also Air Vice Marshal Paul Godfrey. They are respectively the chairman and the president of RAF Rugby Union, now being introduced to the two players. Jay, just wondering, you know, you're used to these bits before the game starts. What's it like, you know, all the butterflies in the tummy, you know, is it a nervousness, or are you just pleased to get these bits out of the way and get playing?
Yeah, it's definitely nervous at the start. We just needed, the girls need to stay calm, stay collective and just focus on kick off and get this out of the way, because you just literally want the whistle to go just to start, so you can get that first hit out of the way and get into the game.
It's going to be an interesting match, isn't it? And I think the Navy's tactics are going to be to play their strengths on the pitch and stop the RAF from playing today.
Yeah, definitely. The Navy obviously have got something to prove. They've not beaten the RAF since 2014. So they'll want to go out and put on a good performance. I know they've been training well. They've had a good few camps, so they're looking to put it to the RAF today.
And Scott, from your point of view, this is I think probably the first time you've had a chance to have a look at service rugby. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, very much so. You know, I've watched the Army-Navy game on TV plenty of times, and yeah, great to actually be here in person and finally see it in the flesh.
Yeah, with both the men's and the women's, of course, so with the men coming up later on. And we're also here, got the benefit actually in the commentary position today of being able to listen to the referees' comments. Maybe you can just mention who the officials are for us today, because they're all come obviously from the Army. So Army officials looking after Royal Navy and Royal Air Force, completely unbiased views, of course. As we're expecting. So yeah, the Captain Rob Hitch is refereeing today, and his assistants Major Matt Ray and WO2 Damien Walker as well. The fourth official today is Major Ben Davey. So those are the officials, just waiting now for all those last bits to be done. Then we will have the national anthem, of course, and hopefully wherever you're watching around the Forces world, and if you're here in Plymouth, get yourself down here, because it's dry at the moment. I think the forecast is for it to stay reasonably dry for the rest of the day. Come down and enjoy some great rugby unions, and Forces Rugby Union at its very best, and both of these two teams are going to obviously give their absolute all today. I hear it on good authority actually that it's quite likely that Amy Cockayne, although she's obviously playing for England today against Scotland, is going to be freed up to play against you lot in a couple of weeks' time, Jade. So obviously that depends on what happens in the England game against Scotland today. But I think there is obviously the hope from the Air Force they'll have Amy back. Looking at it from a purely unbiased point of view, it's just great, isn't it? The top players playing for the forces, they've got there, and it's just brilliant to think that they could be playing in the inter-services this season.
Yeah, definitely. Amy's a really great player, obviously playing at the highest standard that is, and just having her presence in the team will massively shift.
Time for the national anthem then. God Save the King. Before we get started, just a couple of mentions before we go. Steve Shepherd, good evening, good morning to you, Steve. Jay Bond, hi from Canterbury, and says RAF to win. Andrew Picton, Sapper here watching from northeast Thailand. Looking forward to a great game. And Chardonnay Robinson says Navy to win. So there we are. That's what you think. Keep those thoughts coming in as we go. And Rankins is watching this from Glasgow in Scotland. Ralph Nobby Clark watching from the south of France. So already know that people are watching all around the world this game today. And I shall hand you now over then to Scott, capable hands, to take us through the first half.
Well, two big teams here today. Captain for the Royal Navy, Rose Dixon, playing at 13, and Lucy Nye, very experienced for the RAF, at scrum half today. And Jade, who would you suggest from both teams are the key players that might make a difference today?
Definitely Rose that you've mentioned and Lucy. They're both key players. Massive, good leadership roles in the squad, and we really try and bring the energy for the team today. And then for the Navy, going outside of that, you've got the experience of Lucy, Rosie, Sean, Chloe Sorbu all went out on the Defence World Cup out in New Zealand, so obviously played UCAF standard. And then the same for the RAF, Danica, Emma Tadman, Charlie Murray, Kat Robinson, Sarah Graham, all really strong players. And then it's nice to see that at 12 today, got an ex-international for the RAF as well. She's played for Wales, so she'll really bring the energy and the experience into the squad.
Well, about time to get underway here at Brickfields. We've had plenty of rain over the last couple of weeks, so the pitch looking slightly heavy, would you say, Jade?
Yeah, slightly heavy. I'm glad I'm not playing on it, to be honest. I'd much rather a 4G pitch, faster game of rugby, but the girls just need to dig deep through this.
Well, the RAF get us underway, and it's the Navy that look to clear the Lions from deep with Sop. Sondak, the carry, and shunted backwards, and good turnover from the RAF. Nice pickup from Robinson. Still comes short, and this is with Murray.
Yeah, if the RAF just go hands now, yeah, they've got a huge overlap.
Acres of space to the right for the RAF if they can put it through their hands. Graham with a dink over the top, out wide, and it might fall nicely here for De Filippo, and it's in for the try. Well, what a start from the RAF. The bounce was glorious, the offload to Greasley, and it is first blood to the RAF of Brickfields.
That's just the experience of Sarah Graham coming in there at 10. Quick eyes up, crossfield straight across. Good to start for the RAF. They'll want to continue with this.
Well, chance for the RAF to add the extras. And Sarah Graham, for them, vice-captain today. Ever so experienced. Well, just pushed wide, and what a start inside 2 minutes.
Yeah, a really good start from the RAF. They want to stay on top now and keep the pressure onto the Navy, but the Navy just need to keep composure and bounce back from there.
Well, first chance to see the Navy with ball in hand from the restart. Falls to Murray, and that's spilled forward. Dixon, the captain, now on a charge. Where can she go? Honeybell fronts up. Now the Navy release, and it's with Staples. Recycle the ball well, and it's out wide once more. The looping pass over the top.
It's a great pass over there.
Great to Ashby, who is swung into touch. And we're coming back for the advantage. Nice pass into the 5-metre channel, wasn't it, Jake?
Yeah, it was really good link play there. Obviously, they would have known they'd had advantage, so it was good to try something. So, yeah, really good start after that conceding the try.
Well, they're going for the posts. Try and close that gap. It is only 5-0 to the RAF. And Chloe Sopp fancies her chances from around about 30 metres out. Well, cagey.
Yeah, interesting call, yeah. A few minutes into the game, they could have had an opportunity, obviously, to go touch, try and execute a line out, maybe a mould, possibly drive over, depending on how far they got a touch. But yeah, back in the kick, so hopefully Chloe slots it.
Well, there is a bit of a breeze here in Plymouth this afternoon, and Chloe Sopp just pushes it wide, and there's the heavy pitch with the bouncing ball, and away come the RAF from their own try line. Nice break from Berger. Still pressing that outside channel.
That's a really good run from Tadman then.
Out of the 22 and working their way upfield. Short ball to Knott. Bit of width to Proctor. Might be some space around the fringes, but we're going to come back for the high tackle from Critchley Peddle. And absolutely no fear from the RAF running it from behind their own try line.
Yeah, no, they clearly back themselves, which is obviously a good attitude to have. They're carrying well, though. The Navy girls need to be more dominant in that tackle area to stop them early, because at the minute they're getting loads of gain line in the RAF and getting forward.
Getting quite a few mentions coming through. Diane Bird says, boom, what a great start for the RAF. Callie Oatley with a thumbs up there. And Melissa Cummins, great power run by Abby Ashby. Let's go Navy. That was a good run from her. And Jimmy Rowlands is watching too. So keep those messages coming in wherever you are.
Charlie Murray at the line out to the front. Great ball, really smart play.
Yeah, interesting. Charlie's moved positions. Last year she played 15 against us, so it's interesting to see her, you know, cover that role with the absence of Amy Cockayne.
Well, it's a nice dart as well from Grundy, and again the forward power. Well, we're coming back for the original penalty at the line out. And I think we might see the RAF kick for touch once again. Good boot, Sarah Graham.
Yeah, and they just obviously executed a good line out there, so they're capable of doing it again.
Nudge into the corner, just inside the Navy 22. The RAF. And Murray with the line-out ball once more. We are just going to have a moment whilst the Navy gets some treatment.
Yeah, it looks like Lucy's down. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with her and it's just literally just a bit of tape, or, you know, so she can get up and get back into the game, because she'll be a loss for the Navy girls if she went off early.
Yeah, the magic sponge treatment, I think, at this time of the game, and she's already back to her feet. RAF lining up off the top, and again maybe a touch offside from the Navy as it goes through the hands and fronted up. Bees around a honeypot at the moment for the RAF.
That was much better defence for the Navy. They just need to keep up with this now.
Nye draws the defender and feeds the forwards. Navy flying off the defensive line at the minute. The RAF with a penalty advantage, spilled ball, and we are going to come back for that penalty. That's a few times already in the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, the Navy girls really need to keep their discipline. You know, getting penalised all the time and getting marched back 10, you're just giving the RAF territory and a better position every time on the pitch. So hopefully Rose has a good word with them now, and they can go into this next bit with a calmer head.
It's always the way in the opening exchanges in games where players are full of energy, as you say, and just maybe get a bit carried away. And obviously tackle height, such a contentious issue at the moment as well. Difficult to judge sometimes, as we always see.
Yeah, definitely. But the lower the tackle, the more better leg drive you'll have. So the Navy girls just need to get off the line, hit low and drive, and hopefully be more dominant in that tackle area.
Great position for the RAF to be in. Wilmore just having a chat with Murray at the line-out. Nicely taken at the top, and here comes the drive. The backs get amongst the action as well, and the train charging forward. Well slowed by the Navy.
That's really good defence then. I think they've got the turnover as well.
Well, that is stupendous defence. Oh, almost a spill on their own line from the Navy. Can they clear their lines now? Blessed here at Brickfields with deep in goal areas, and it might fall to the RAF in space, and they have acres of space out wide.
Oh, that's a really good tackle there.
Well, surely a try-saving tackle as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was a bit of an odd kick there to kick infield from Chloe. But, you know, it worked out, and it was good pressure and a really good tackle, so she put the ball forward.
Well, from defence to attack just like that, and on this big wide pitch, this is a promising position to be in for the Royal Navy.
Is this the first scrum now?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see the packs get against each other.
Who's your money on?
I'm going to go Navy.
Great set from both teams. They decide to come short and kick into space over the top of the defensive line. Berger chasing backwards and, just a couple of metres short of a 50-22. And that was a lovely nudge downfield from the Navy.
Yeah, and I think it would have made a difference if we were on 4G, definitely. You could see the ball, which is a bit slower, didn't jump as high as it normally would on a 4G pitch. But a really good execution there from Chloe and a good position to be in.
So good morning to Roger Redwin over there in the United States, the naval attaché to Great Britain over there in the States. Good morning to you, Roger. Saying, come on the Navy, building well. Come on the Navy, says Cara Boylan. Come on the Wrens, with you all the way, says Rianne Boom-Dilmore. And yeah, keep those messages coming in. We'd love to hear from you.
Lovely line out once again from the RAF. But it has been stolen perfectly by Sinclair, and maybe defence into attack here as it goes through Dixon's hands, and great all-body tackle by Berger.
Yeah, really good turnover, good position to be in here now. Hopefully the Navy just keep hold of the ball, keep control.
Well, we have a player down. I think that might be Dixon on the far side.
Yeah, it looks like Rose. I'm sure she'll be okay. She'll fight through. She's an hard one.
Huge tackle from Forbes, but it's high once again. A few cheers from the crowd, which is nice to hear on a Saturday early afternoon. And I think the rain we anticipated is very much on its way.
Yeah, which is what we don't want.
Yeah, got dark clouds all around Brickfields here. Hopefully they'll keep away for now, because rain is what we don't want. I have to say, guys, just sort of watching so far, great recovery from the Royal Navy so far, because that was a disastrous start for them to concede a try virtually with the first kick of the game. But they really have fought their way back into this and could quite easily have, had a couple of points on the board themselves.
Yeah, it's always hard that the first few minutes of the game to really get control. So to concede that try and then come back and now maintain the ball, gain territory and go forward, that's what they really need to do. So hopefully they can get a bit more structure, get the ball moving across the back line and hopefully get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, a few more mentions on YouTube today. Ian Robertson, good morning to you, or good afternoon, Ian. Sapper here watching from Cumbria. We are men, sheep are scared. Okay, fair enough, Ian. And Julie Jale says, shout out to Rowan Sinclair for the Navy, from Julie and all her ex-Watsonian teammates in Edinburgh. And James Perch says, come on RAF, from James and James in Cyprus. Great start. Wherever you are around the world, we'd love to hear from you.
Off the base from Swain and back to Perry and with Alderson. Cutting line from Brona Gibb, makes a couple of metres into the 22. The Navy, who spent early periods of this game in defence, have really built on that and starting to piece together some fluid attack. Flat out the back, Alderson. Well, that's a great penalty and pressure at the breakdown from the RAF.
Yeah, discipline again for the Navy though. Didn't get back 10. Charlie took the quick tap. So they'll be on their marching orders again.
Well, pass was lost forward, but Navy penalised for not being 10 from the quick tap penalty, and Nye just having a word with Graham, and they are going for the pace.
Classic tap and go, get shape, so they back themselves.
If you're a back as well, you want the quick tap, don't you?
Oh yeah, 100%. They'll have a quick tap. Just keeps the defence honest, especially like as you've seen then, Critchley didn't get back 10. So, you know, it really puts pressure on the opposition to, you know, keep their heads in the game and move back.
Again, superb defensive pressure from the Navy and a great turnover from Gibb. And the Navy rewarded with a fine penalty, and we'll surely see them kick it into the RAF 22 for the first time. Well, that rain now starting to come in droves. And the Navy with the line out, 10 metres out from the RAF try line. Best bit of field position we've seen from them in this game.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully now they'll get a good setup and go forward, and hopefully we get to see them go over the whitewash.
I just wonder what this increase in rain and wind will have on this next line out.
Yeah, when it starts to rain, I always hate it. You know, you want good handling skills, a quick ball, and it just it slows it down that extra second. So hopefully it doesn't affect the game too much.
Good option from Addis, short to the front, and here comes the truck and trailer. Good pressure from the RAF. Maybe Perry looking to release, it's going nowhere. And picked off by Swain. It was Tadman with the tackle that stopped her in her tracks. Great pickup. Great defence though from Nye.
Yeah, it was really good pressure from Nye, reading the game well there.
Forward ball once again. Penalty. Tackler not rolling away. And just a pause from Ryan Perry. And again, they look for the post to try and close down this 5-point deficit.
Well, as the rain falls, a few more mentions to make. We're just, what 17, 18 minutes now into the first half here at Brickfields, live here on Forces News Facebook and our YouTube channel. And if you're watching on BFBS TV around the Forces world too, a very warm welcome. Just say a good afternoon to Kelly Badger. Good luck to the Navy, watching from Stockton-on-Tees with my sister on the pitch. Come on, Suze Badger. Graham Watson says go RAF. And Ralph Nobby Clark says not raining here in Cannes. Lucky you.
Beautiful strike from Sop and straight through the uprights. It is the Royal Navy 3, the Royal Air Force 5, inside 20 minutes here in Plymouth. And, well, this is going to be a hard second quarter in this rain.
Yeah, it's terrible out there. I'm glad we're under a bit of shelter, to be honest. But there was a much better kick from Chloe. It's nice now that should settle the nerves to the Navy, and they're on the scoreboard. So hopefully now it's just about getting a clean catch, setting the platform, and then getting out of their half.
Good restart and well taken by Gibb in that slippy, sloppy rain, and picked up once more by Grundy. The RAF back in possession. What a take from Robinson.
Yeah, we see the rain instantly. Grundy got tackled and therefore spilt the ball. So the rain's already having an effect on this game.
Change of direction from the RAF. Numbers to the left. Sewer fronts up. Almost a half break from Robinson. The RAF have the penalty advantage.
Yeah, cheeky little show and go there from Kat.
Well, a half tackle, half rip, and it is Critchley Peddle back in possession for the Navy. Well, there's the impact of the rain coming down, and once again, Burgess bills the ball, but we're going to come back for the earlier infringement. Well, you can already see just the speed of ball that Lucy Nye is getting from the breakdown. You just need that extra half a second to grip the ball before you release, and it's already telling here.
Yeah, definitely. The rain's coming down pretty heavy, and this will change the game plan up slightly.
it was so nice this morning as well. Beautiful sunshine as we came into the ground here. It was all looking so promising, but whilst we love a 4G pitch and a quick game, there's nothing quite like a muddy Saturday afternoon, is that?
Yeah, you know, back home in Wales, there's some pitches there that are horrendous and full of mud. So yeah, there's nothing worse, I think, to be freezing cold afterwards. You're thinking about the shower at this time.
It's all very well for us to say up here in the dry in the commentary box here.
Well, John, I'll get down there and slush about if it makes them feel better. No problem with that. Great line out. Here comes the drive from the RAF, and they're charging with Wilmore. Inches away. Oh, held up. And that is excellent defence from the Navy.
Yeah, and that was a much better maul compared to earlier where the RAF lost it and then gave the ball back to the Navy. But good defence from Navy there. Hopefully now Chloe can put a decent boot on this and get them out of their area. But, you know, for a good kick, you need a good chase. So that needs to be executed.
Well, this is an opportune attacking position for Berger here, who loves the space and loves to run. Another big fend. Breaks through two shoulders. Nye with Proctor this time. Using the short side once more, and Graham. Now they come open side, all the spilt, and Knott collects the loose ball. Well, they're trying something here as Graham puts the dink over the top, as we saw with the first try. But the mark is called. Nicely read.
Yeah, it was a really good read by Ree then. She's, again, an experienced scrum half. Came out to New Zealand with us. But, yeah, great read to get control of the ball back.
It's the perfect position for a scrum half to be, isn't it? Just sweeping along the back.
Yeah, and hide away from tackles.
Well, it's up and under with not much chased, and De Filippo holding on.
Yeah, like I said earlier, when it comes to these kicks, the kick is not really effective if you don't have a chase. That was a much better chase compared to the dropout there. But unfortunate knock on there from Lucy, you rarely see.
Few mentions to make. Come on the RAS, say Denise and Chunky watching from Tredegar, South Wales, hoping to see our goddaughter, Flying Officer Hughes. That's Janet Lee Hughes on the pitch later. She's certainly one of the finishers, so I'm sure we'll see her later on. A few more messages as well. Just terrific defence by the senior service, says Roger. I can hear the rain from here. You're not wrong, actually, with that one, Roger. And good luck to the RAF and my daughter, number 16, Louise Langton. Go, girls. Come on, RAF, says Rebecca Williams. Keep those messages coming through wherever you are around the world. We're live here in Plymouth for Inter-Services Rugby between the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force. Just 2 points in it at the moment, and we're just past the halfway mark in this first half.
Well, turning into a game for the purists after that scrum, but our referee seeing a difficult tackle from Graham and Nye. And it is the captain on the captain. It was Rose Dixon that was taken high, and Lucy Nye off the field of play for 10 minutes.
Yeah, Lucy's really small as well, so I'm surprised she got a high tackle in.
Well, she can try and find some dry, maybe get her hands under the hairdryer in the changing rooms for 10 minutes.
So hopefully now the Navy can get some points on the board here, play it down, and, you know, there'll be an overlap somewhere.
I'm just trying to judge who is stepping in at scrum half behind the line out for the RAF. Looks maybe like Charlie Murray.
Yeah, Charlie's a good utility player. I've seen her play 12, 13, wing, 15. And obviously she's hooker throwing now, so she'll do a job at scrum half if she steps up.
Well, slippy ball at the line out, but the Navy have managed to retain possession. There's Dixon. as well, just to hold up the ball as the support came round.
If the Navy can just get a bit more quicker ball, they would have they had overlaps there either side. It's just a bit too slow at the minute.
Tadman picks up the loose ball and Murray looks to use, and Graham under a lot of pressure again at fly half from that Navy defence. Berger with the charge. Murray doing a superb job at scrum half there, keeping the ball quick and live.
Yeah, she is a really good player. She's played internationally as well for Wales, so another good experienced player on their squad.
Well, it's just as we said that, the RAF penalised at the breakdown with Knott, and time off whilst the Navy gets some treatment on. Not even a day for the physios will enjoy coming on from out of the dugout.
No, you just want to hope, if you're a physio, that everyone stays fit and healthy. And obviously thinking future games, you know, the Navy, we've got us, and then the RAF have got us as well. So they're obviously their best squads out to play the Army in the coming weeks. Well,
12 months ago, Jade, you were, of course, inter-services champions for the Army. How good was that?
Yeah, it was absolutely buzzing, to be honest. You know, we lost in 2019, sore subject, but to go out there and win services back, beat the RAF at Kingsholm, and then lift the trophy at Twickenham, of all places, yeah, it was a brilliant day.
Getting loads more messages coming through. Chris Peach, Guitars and Fire, says, come on, the RAF. And Ryan, watching from Australia, may the best side win, he says. Good afternoon, good morning to you. Was it good evening from Australia there? Lewis Harris, good luck to all the Navy girls. We're in Butlins last weekend from Tum and all the Tredegar girls. And shout out to Yvonne Mealy and Lucy Honeybell. Bring the chaos, says Cheryl Goodwin.
Rebecca Addis, hooker for the Navy today. Going for that short ball once again, but it is so challenging in these conditions, and the RAF pounce on the loose ball. Graham again, she's being absolutely hassled.
Yeah, that's really good pressure there. You hassle the playmaker, and that means the ball can't get out, so really good pressure.
Must be 4 or 5 times now she's struggled to get it away, and well, the clearance perfectly plucked out of the sky by Brona Gibb.
Yeah, really good take in this weather and these conditions.
A couple of jeers once again, and the Navy with the penalty and will kick to the corner. Well, it is must be 4 or 5 times now that Sarah Graham has been flattened or pressured as the kick doesn't make touch, and it's spilled by Grundy. Oh, that is unfortunate, but they are the conditions for you.
Yeah, if she just put her body to the side and tried to catch it, probably it would have gone backwards, but because she's squaring up to the ball, it's obviously just bouncing off her chest, so she can't get a clean catch. So, you know, just a bit of technical ability change there, and she'll be able to take a clean catch.
Chance at the scrum then. Perry with the feed, and that's an excellent scrum display from both sides. Swain from the base. Sunnyville offload out the back, and now the captain Dixon gets it away, and here comes Alderson charging, but cuts inside. Acres of space to her left.
Yeah, just need quick ball now to get out wide. Bit of a bad call, I would have said then. She should have got past their hands and tried to get into the corner.
Ashby must be reeling on that left touchline as the Navy still charge forward. Over the gain line once more.
Yeah, some good pick and goes here, an advantage, and hopefully they'll try and play it, but it's a bit slow.
Well, plenty of width from the back line as they come for the crossfield kick. It may fall to Alderson. Oh, it is over her head. over Berger's head and out of touch.
Yeah, as is Sam then, she just stayed wide and ran into the ball. She would have had a better sight in, but because she was running in to out, it's harder to view the ball above whilst it's going over your head.
Well, they will have another opportunity here as Perry lines up the quick tap, and pouring rain comes the demolition from Swain. Pressuring on this RAF try line now. Can they find a way through and slide over for their first try of the game?
Yeah, they just, if they get a good setup here, good pick and goes, get outside the B defender, they'll be fine.
Well, they've got bodies to the left of the breakdown. It's a 2-on-1. I think they're cause for a turnover, but it's still with the Navy. Open side once again, through the hands. Dixon takes 3 to bring her down in the end. Bit slower this time from the breakdown. Now it's Alderson, spilled in the contact and latched upon by the RAF. Trying to power their way from their own try line, the RAF now.
Yeah, I think it was just a bad call there from Sam. She tried a cheeky little grubber through, and if she'd just done hands, they would have got outside them on the edge. So I don't know whether that's bad decision making or ineffective comms, but it's a missed opportunity, I'd say.
Well, they had body, didn't they? Because it took 3 RAF players to bring down Sop and Dixon as well. But fortunate for the RAF, they get to clear their lines here.
Yeah, and a bit of, slow the game down a bit for them, because they'll really want Lucy back on the pitch.
You've got to hand it to the RAF. Terrific defence, a player down. I thought that the Navy were in for that try just then to really try and, because they need to get something out of these few moments, don't they, with the player advantage.
Yeah, they certainly need a try. They've been building into this half really nicely, and perhaps, as you say, Jade, a couple of better decisions. They've got players over on the left-hand touchline, players on this near touchline, and surely a try is going to come eventually.
Yeah, and it would be a massive missed opportunity to not score the try whilst Lucy's chilling on the sidelines.
Chilling quite literally, because that rain will have been giving her a little bit of frostbite to those fingers by now. Only one player on the pitch with long sleeves on as well, so hardy bunch, the Navy and RAF. Turnover at the line-out.
So yeah, a really good turnover. They've got an overlap now already, so if they just get the ball wide, they could potentially get on the board.
Sop to Badger, and now Dixon steps. Manages to get the offload away, and the pass from Alderson to Ashby rolls along the deck and out into touch. Another opportunity for the Navy, just slipping through their grasp.
Yeah, the Navy just were drifting there as they were passing the ball. So it's so easy to defend, because at RAF you can just slide off and defend the next person. They just really needed someone to square up or cut a line back in to keep the RAF honest.
They're basically chucking a bar of soap around, aren't they? Let's face it. But let's a few mentions while we have the chance. Ryan in Perth in Australia. Lemon, good luck to the RF. I'm watching in my bed, recovering from ligma. And also a few mentions coming in on Facebook. Melissa Cummins, let's go Navy. Brenda Ellis. What a brilliant day for rugby. Roses this afternoon, Quins, and Amy Cockayne plays for them as well. Good luck to all the ladies, she says. And Christopher Moore, good afternoon, watching from Germany, enjoying the game. Good luck to both teams.
Great line there. That's what we talked about, Rowan Sinclair cutting it into the fence, but she's been penalised for holding on. And again, the RAF, who spent most of the first quarter pinned down in the Navy's 22, have now had to withstand a bit of pressure of their own, but they have rode the wave, quite literally, nicely because Lucy Nye is back on the field after her sin bin.
Yeah, another get-out jail card there. She just had no support players with her. Really good line, really good leg drive, but no friends.
No friends. Oh, well, that is sumptuous take from the kick to touch, and now come the bodies in to help with the clear out. Spilled though by Graham. Oh, it's such a shame on days like this. They had so many numbers to this near touchline as well.
Yeah, you can really hear the rain. It's really quite heavy. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but these conditions will affect the game massively.
Well, scrum down. Perry with the feed, and that's a great shove from the RAF. Perry under a lot of pressure, but Sop looking for options. Now it's to Dixon, and Dixon has some space. The first time in broken play, and goes for the fend on Berger, but well tackled.
Here you go. If the Navy just get quick ball now, they'll be on top, and they've got a huge overlap.
Mealy drifting to Honeybell, and Honeybell gets it to Ashby.
Yeah, Ashby just got a bit keen there. Left the 5 metre channel. If she had just stayed in the 5 metre channel, Lucy could have got it out to the 15, and then could have potentially passed Ashby, and they would have been in the corner. But too excited.
Well, they have numbers on the short side once again, and I think Perry just eyeing it up, and she spots it now through Alderson to Ashby. Can she go over? Oh, what a tackle.
Great defence there.
Another opportunity for the Navy. They're still in possession. The RAF resilient on their own try line once more. Now the power play from the forwards. Wilmore trying to rip and steal.
Here you go, and they've got advantage as well, Navy, so they can try something out here.
They come to the open side, and it's shunted through Sinclair. What a tackle. That time by Berger. Badger. Crunching hit from Forbes. The Navy with the advantage.
Yeah, that was a good tackle by Annie. She's another one that's transitioned from a back to a forward, so enjoying the tackle area.
Well, 10-metre defensive gain now from the RAF, and Sop looks for another option, this time with Swain. Oh, it's spilled. But we are coming back for the earlier infringement, and Lucy Nye now having a word with our referee, Captain Rob Hitch.
Yeah, RAF are just getting a bit too keen on the defensive line coming off. There's a few times they've been offside now, so they just need to hold their feet, wait for that ball that's clearly out, and get off the line then. So it's just a bit of patience.
Into the final moments of this first half. Nye just having a word with her team, because they are certainly at risk of maybe another yellow card if they have persistent penalties.
Yeah, and that's where you don't want to be down another 10 minutes with a player down. So just they need a good reset here, bit of composure, and ready to go into this next set, and then they've got half time to come to reset again.
Sop now, rather than the quick tap, looking, eyeing up the corner.
Oh my goodness me, what a terrific first half we've had here, haven't we? We're literally towards the end now, just into whatever the referee is going to add. And you've got to say that the Navy deserve to score here. They've had such a tremendous amount of pressure, and bearing in mind as well the way the rain is going from where we're watching right to left, they've been up against the rain as well. They've done so well in this first half. A few more mentions just before the line-out comes in. Tim Cooper, good morning to you, Tim. Melissa Cummings, let's go Navy as well. And the Ryan says defence, wow. I quite agree.
Lovely take off the top from Critchley Pedal. Now,
it's a good drive, this.
Now the bus is powering. The RAF resolute in defence once again. There is space to the left, and Alderson has spotted it. A breakaway, short for the line. Maybe another chance here. It's too slow. The Navy with the forward power play and straight into the contact. Another drive this time. Again short. Trying to suck in these RAF defenders, but it is finally a try for the Navy. And after all that pressure, all that power, they finally get their first try of the game. Well, we're still trying to pick out a shirt number, because amongst all that mud and rain and navy blue shirts, it was one of the forwards for sure. And finally they got their score, and it looks like it may have been Sam Alderson.
That'd be a back, interesting, in the mall.
Well, you've got to get the power plays in, haven't you? Get all the bodies in.
I think they all deserve the credit for that, don't they? Because it was a terrific effort from the Navy. And can they add the extra 2 right on half-time here in this dire conditions? But what a terrific game of rugby we've enjoyed. And that goes over too.
Well, just seeing it on the replay again, there was only about a little finger touching it over the line, I think.
Yeah, the referee clearly probably had a better view than us. Obviously being there, so he must have seen something.
Well, only 2 minutes until half-time, and an important score for the Navy. And despite the quick start from the RAF, it is the Navy who have had pretty much all the possession in this second quarter.
Yeah, they have, and they decided to wait for Lucy to come back on to score the try. So, you know, it shows that they can, they're more than capable of it.
Well, lost forward.
Yeah, it's not what you want right there. So obviously a really bad, again, take from the winger. So it's a good platform here for the RAF, and hopefully, you know, they'll try and get on the scoreboard and get in front before half-time.
Dare I say it, is the rain stopping as we head towards half-time?
Well, I think we are pretty much within a cloud here in Plymouth at the moment. But this is a good position for the Royal Air Force, just on the edge of the first half, and neither captain will feed the scrum.
Great pressure from Reed there.
That's what you want, 2 scrum halves hustling each other at the set piece. Dink over the top from Graham, spots a gap in front of the post in the backfield, and Ashby clears up. That is a great defensive tackle, all about that kick chase once again.
Yeah, Ashby just felt got isolated then, no really comms to tell her what to do, but you know, good decision from Chloe there. Half time now, get back in, reset.
Well, what a first half we've had here at Brickfields. The RAF ending the first half with all the pressure, all the power and all the points.
Yeah, leading by 10 points to 5. Don't go away. We're going to be back with you very, very shortly with lots more thoughts on this first half. But just taking a quick break here now with a score at half-time. The Royal Navy leading by 10 points to 5.
Are we lost?
No, I know where we're going.
I bet you I could run there faster.
No, you can't.
Right, I'll bet you my watch.
Deal.
Okay, let's go.
Double or quits.
Hello and welcome to Courses Sport.
You've been doing all right with the tries, haven't you, last couple of seasons?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Amy Piquet, as always, a real pleasure.
So half-time here then at Brickfields in what's been an absolutely absorbing first half of inter-services rugby, played in the most dreadful conditions, but credit to both teams for putting up a tremendous effort here. And the Royal Navy rewarded for, I mean, they had a disastrous start, of course, to the game, conceding that very, very early try, which was scored by Chelsea Greasley. But then, from then on, they really pounded the RAF with tremendous pressure, not only against the opposition, of course, but also against the weather as well. And we reckon it was Rowan Sinclair who scored the try for the Navy. 10-5 at half-time. Well done to the Royal Navy for pulling themselves right back into this game here. And ironically enough, I think that the rain has relented at half-time. Let's hope that it will clear completely in the second half. Well, we'll have a lot more chances to talk about that first half, myself and Scott, very shortly. But now let's switch across, shall we, to Julian Evans, who is talking to our special guest here today, to Jade Mullen.
Well, look, we're really making Jade work for her cup of complimentary coffee, because she's going to talk to me now about an absorbing encounter. It looks like the pitch is doing most of the absorbing. Horrendous conditions. When a player is in this sort of situation, how do you adapt?
So you just have to really come in tighter as a squad. You know, the good width passes that you'd normally be doing, you don't want to be doing that. So I'd come into the second half now, bring it in tighter, and then you can then progress from there, make it go wide then from there.
Yeah, we've seen both sides struggle out there at the moment. I think the Royal Navy butchered a couple of opportunities when they had overlaps as well. Was that down to the conditions?
I wouldn't say no. Conditions would have had an impact. It was probably more communication and just better decision making. There's a few times, like you said, that they could have scored out wide, but maybe a bit of selfishness, people trying to go in on their own. So a bit more comms next time into the second half, and hopefully they'll get out wide and score.
Well, look, the Royal Navy are 10-5 up. It is an absorbing encounter. Is that how you predicted this before game started? Would you have put the Royal Navy above the Royal Air Force at this stage?
Would I put them above? I'm not too sure. They're very 50-50. Like, if you go off last year's performance, the Navy were winning at second half, going into the second half then. So they're doing the same today. It's just the second half now that they need to keep their composure, stay on top, really good defence then towards the end, and they need to keep doing that. And it could go either way.
Well, I'm sure the Royal Air Force will say, look, we're missing the stars of our game. And let's talk about this now, because it's the start of the Women's Six Nations. England seem to be above and beyond the best in Europe at the moment, best in the Northern Hemisphere. And, of course, the Royal Air Force are blessed to have Amy Cockayne. What's it like? Because you know what it's like to play with some of the very best in military rugby, and they're the internationals.
Yeah, it's great to have someone like Amy on your team. You know, she's not just a great rugby player, but her leadership, her presence will just have a massive impact on the team. So, you know, I think Amy's available to play us in 2 weeks' time. So that'll be a huge mood shift for the RAF, definitely. And it'll boost their morale, and it'll make them a better team just to having her there.
Well, let's talk about your country now. Caris Williams-Morris is another RAF player, unavailable for the RAF today because she's flying the colours of Wales today. You know, that's a huge boost for Wales and a huge boost for military rugby to have Caris involved as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's the RAF are doing really well. You know, getting their players highlighted and released to go and play these elite level sports. And you know, for Caris to run out for Wales, it's obviously a huge honour for her. And she might be available, I think, as well against us. So it'll be exciting to play against her again, and hopefully she doesn't pass to Courtney this year.
Yeah, well, the third of those RAF Musketeers is Sarah Bonner, injured at the moment. Will be representing Scotland, so a race against time for her to be involved in the Six Nations.
Yeah, Bonner's been performing great this season. I've watched her a few times now at Quins, and she's had really great games. It'd be a shame to obviously lose her. Hopefully she'll be back for the Six Nations to get a run out. I don't know if she'll be back obviously so soon against us, but she'll be a massive miss because she's been performing really well.
With all those internationals, would you say that the military game for women is the highest standard it has been?
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, there's so many girls that are, you know, playing Prem, playing even the Champ, and then, you know, Sevens. So it's a huge progression, and I think being in the military, the forces, we're blessed, you know, get paid for this. So,
well, you know, I don't need to play down your part as well, because you've been involved with the Wales setup as well, particularly at Sevens. It's a viable opportunity for women to marry up being in the service and playing professional rugby as well, because it wasn't so long ago that you couldn't get paid, or you didn't get paid for playing rugby.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's a huge opportunity, and like to join the forces, and then, you know, like for the Army Sevens, to like we do all the tournaments, Super Series we've done, and to be in work for a week, but your work's playing rugby, it's absolutely great, and it's an honour to do.
Just finally, how do you think the second 40 is going to go?
It could go either way. I think both teams need to keep calm and just get the first 5 minutes out of the way in the second half, before then they start adapting. But it looks like the rain has stopped, which is a good thing. Yeah,
well, look, stay with us, because we've got an intriguing 40 minutes. Who's going to win? Will it be the light blues of the Royal Air Force or the dark blues of the Royal Navy?
we're looking forward to a great day at Twickenham later on in May, of course, May the 13th for our live coverage of both those games, and of course before that we'll be in Gloucester on the 15th of April for the second leg of our coverage of this season's Inter-Services Championship. And of course we're hoping for rather better weather than we're experiencing here today in Plymouth, and just on cue at half-time, as the players are just about ready to come out for the second half, the rain is falling once again, and a thought for our cameraman Lewis Bartley, who's getting absolutely soaked down there, getting all those low-angle shots for you. But I must say, Scott, I mean, given the conditions, the players from both teams have performed magnificently for us so far.
Yeah, it's been a superb game, very competitive. It was that great start from the RAF, which is exactly what you want in a game like this, and maybe they just caught the Navy, who are perhaps just slightly more nervous, as goes in these championship games. And there's so much at stake here, and there's representative honours potentially as well, and it means a lot to both teams to come out here and perform. But you mentioned the game in Gloucester in a couple of weeks. That's a 4G pitch, so it will not be as muddy for these girls when they play there, which is one positive to come out of it.
Well, I think Jade's already told us that she's looking forward very much to playing on the 4G. It's going to be a fast game. Obviously, what we're seeing really is suiting the Navy, isn't it? Because it's that sort of game, on the muddy pitch has really suited them so far. And I have to say, the way they fought back from that early try, which was a disastrous start for them, was just magnificent, really. The way they pulled themselves together and pulled themselves back into the game. I'm sure that Sam Cuff is absolutely delighted. And Jay, just a sort of a mention, of course, that you will be selecting the Elliot Brown Player of the Match, and the Player of the Match will be receiving a watch, by the way, courtesy of our sponsors, Elliot Brown, for their efforts. And I think they all deserve watches, to be fair, after the way they've played so far. But we'll be asking you, with about 5 minutes to go, Jade, for your thoughts on the Player of the Match. And I'm sure that that will be it's going to be quite a difficult decision so far with some of the performances that we've seen from both teams. But we're ready to go, I think, for the second half. So I shall hand you back then to our commentary team for action then in this second half.
Well, the game is nicely poised as we come into this wet second half, change of ends, and Chloe Sott, who scored a healthy 5 points in that first half, gets us underway. And the RAF look to clear with Sarah Graham and find some space.
So this looks like it's a new tactic, kick into the middle of the field, but it's good recovery there from Navy, but a really good chase from Berger again. She's carried well every time she's got the ball so far.
Fronting up, here comes the maul. Haven't seen too many of these in this game. It finally hits the deck as Sott sends it away, but straight into touch, so we're going to come back to where she kicked it from, and the RAF will get a line out. A shake of the head, I think, down there.
Yeah, just bad execution, bad decision making there. She just needs to just keep a bit of a cooler head, a bit more composure, and execute that kick and send it down to the 5 metre channel. So obviously lost a bit of territory there at the same time.
Murray at the line out for the RAF again. I just wonder how long both coaches will leave before they bring on some finishers, some replacements. These wet and cold conditions certainly take it out of the body and the muscles a bit more as well.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than being cold and playing rugby, especially when you're a back. Oh, it's freezing.
I do feel for the back three on both teams. I've been in that position many times. You're just waiting for something, anything, and you could run around all day, but on a day like this, the ball would still never come to you.
Yeah, no, people just tend to just carry it in. But it'd be a good attacking opportunity here if the wingers did go off the wing and exploit to be an option in the midfield, shoulder balls off some of the centres, and it just tie up the defence and make more options.
Well, they had the option to go for the scrum or the line out. The Navy went for the line out And it was a great take from Critchley Pedal. In these conditions, superb, and the maul just inching its way towards the touchline. And oh, here's a bit of space for Perry.
Really good read there from Perry.
Graham flying off the line for the RAF, and a bit of a dogleg in defence. The Navy still go. This time it's short with the forwards. Spread eagled across the pitch behind the breakdown, and good defence from Murray in the tackle for the RAF. Sop smacks the ball long and straight down the barrel of Kim Grundy, who responds with a kick into space herself. Bit of aerial ping pong here, but that's a lovely return from Alderson.
Yeah, it was a great kick. Just seeing that no one was in the backfield, everyone had left. So, yeah, really good decision.
Oh, we're coming back for the offside from the Navy.
Yeah, someone, when Sam kicked then, the people in front need to really hold their feet and wait for someone to get in front, or try and look like they're working back behind the kicker before getting, so they can get back onside. So just ill discipline.
Big carry, big fend, and a strong charge from the RAF. Tadman.
They've got a huge overlap here now with the RAF of quick pull.
Well, Graham looking for the space, and to De Filippo and into the hands of Greasley. Greasley charging for the line for the RAF, and she will not be stopped. And that is the try that levels it at the start of the second half.
Yeah, the RAF did then what the Navy didn't do earlier, and literally just carried the ball, stayed square, and then shifted it wide and just let the winger do her magic.
Chelsea Greasley's second try then for the RAF this afternoon. My goodness me, she showed her pace. She's a rugby league player as well, by the way, of great standing. So very quickly, the RAF back into this game in the second half. A few mentions. Go the Navy, says Sue O'Sullivan, watching from Dublin in Ireland, looking out particularly for number 5, Yvonne Mealy today. Brenda Ellis says, come on the RAF, you can do this. Brenda Ellis says, brilliant, just delighted with that try. And I think Ryan said, with the rain conditions, I think it's all about territory and pressure. Kick for territory, force the mistake, and he'll be one up front. Best of luck to the girls in the second half. I think he's just had his point proven.
Well, it was a lovely time pass, wasn't it, from 10 to 12, and then out to the right wing, and Graham a chance to add the extras here. Ooh, wow, close, but not close enough. It's the Navy 10, the RAF 10 here at Brickfields, just inside the second half, and we've started the second half very much like we started the first, with a Chelsea Greasley try down the right wing into space. And it also coincided with the rain just easing off. Touch wood.
Yeah, please touch wood, needs to stop.
Sop. Great tackle from Critchley Pedal. First replacement on, I think that's Becky Folds, the RAF, number 18, and great cut back inside. Robinson. Think into space, and it's out on the full. Well, as you look down on the pitch and you look at the shirt numbers, it's interesting that the shirt numbers of the backs visible whilst the forwards are not.
Yeah, forwards do all the hard work for us backs, so we're very grateful for them. But, you know, going into this now the rain stopped, Navy are in a really good position here in midfield. So hopefully they can get a good clean ball and get a good attacking shape.
Addis then. To the shortened line out. stolen and collected by the RAF. Nye releases, and again Graham under a lot of pressure from Sott. Wilmore down the 5 metre channel, makes 5 metres as well.
I think it's the experience of Lucy coming in here now, when to play quick ball, when to slow it down, which is really good.
Half break from Fletcher. Saw some space, and the RAF now into the Navy half. Pick and go. And I think that might have just been stolen by Critchley Peddle. And they get the penalty.
Yeah, just got a bit too excited then, the RAF. Just discipline, just went straight off her feet, flew into that ruck.
Well, some tired bodies out there. Still over half an hour to play, and kick to touch is just a bit short.
Good chase by the winger though. Yeah, Chloe needs to stop being probably so ambitious with the kick, just bring it a bit shorter so that they can get the line out, because obviously now they're back defending, which is what you don't want to do because it zaps your energy.
Nye digging the ball. Slippy bar so nicely taken by Robinson in the end. Now Nye. Berger trying to find some space. Competes over in the skeleton for the RAF as well. Very different icy conditions to these muddy conditions here in Plymouth today.
Yeah, Navy did well then to slow the ball down on both those rucks, so Lucy couldn't get quick ball, because I think the quick ball here is killing the Navy and it's destroying their defensive line.
It's tough when you're trudging around in the mud as well, and you're trying to recycle defensive line and get bodies back out. If you can just suck them in for a couple of phases, the space does appear. Well, a bit of medical treatment.
Yeah, I think that's Critchley down. She's been playing well so far, really good. She's another one that I remember playing against her a few years ago, and I'm sure she was 9 then, so she's transitioned to be a forward. So
I think our referee, Captain Rob Hitch, just having a word with Lucy Nye about tackle height around the breakdown. It's something she was simbing for in that first half, and they have struggled with slightly.
Yeah, Lucy and the ref seems to be having a few chats now, so RAF need to you know, have better discipline, lower tackles, make sure they're on side, you know, just take that extra step, and then make sure you just go for the feet for every tackle. So, you know, they just need to just keep composure now.
Sott looking for touch again. Well, lower shunt, and that is a wonderful take from De Filippo. Wilmore with the charge. This is the challenge in these conditions. Handling errors galore as Graham feeds a lovely flat ball.
That was a really good line there from the 13.
Graham again spends half her time looking at defensive lines flying out. It's a 10's worst nightmare.
Yeah, she likes to stand really flat, Sarah. So, you know, the flatter you are, the quicker the defence can come up to you. So she might be better off just taking that extra step back.
There's so much space out wide in the 15-metre channel as well. If, as you say, she takes a couple of steps back, might just have the time to get the ball away. I think Danica Wilmore getting some treatment on this near touchline.
Yeah, she's had a few good carries, Danica, into the second half now. Carried well, gone across gain line, so I'm sure she'll be all right, back on her feet. Well, she's back on her feet now, so she'll be back running around in a minute.
A couple of squats to check the knees and the quads.
I'm sure they were checking her ankle though, so.
Well, when you're covered in mud, it's difficult to pinpoint the exact spot, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, this is a really good attacking opportunity now for the Navy. You know, a midfield scrum for the backs should be getting excited here. And if you've noticed, the RAF have got a really flat line and no one's dropped. So if I was Navy now, I'd be looking to dink it over.
When they go down the short side, Alderson snatches at the pass and it goes forward. Chance in broken play perhaps for the RAF, and Graham sends it long, and that's a challenging ball to collect.
That was a really good stop by Badger there. Obviously the winger touched it and it was going to go out, and she managed to stop it with her feet and then kick it forward, but unfortunate about the chase.
The RAF looking to capitalise on that quick score at the start of the second half, and the crossfield kick bouncing and just rolls into touch.
Yeah, I spoke too early. I'm sure everyone was offside, and yeah, the ref must have heard me.
Well, Chelsea Greasley, the one penalised, but it was a good option from Graham, trying to pin the Navy back in their 22.
Couple more mentions to mention in this second half. Watching my daughter playing for the RAF number 5, Emma Tadman, is Annette Tadman. Good afternoon to you, Annette. And also Ryan being played in Scotland. I'm in Perth as well, Western Australia there is. So good afternoon to you, or good evening, or good morning. I'm trying to get confused with the timings over there in Australia. But wherever you are around the Forces world and the world, great to have you with us for our live coverage here on Forces News Facebook and also on our YouTube channel.
Well, I would certainly say, Ryan, it is very Scottish weather, if that's what you're getting at. Great step from Graham. Reaches the defence nicely, and here comes Tadman. Nye releases, and here comes Folds.
Yeah, Navy just need to make sure they're making their tackles now. They're just they're not really making full-on body in front tackles, so the RAF are getting in front.
Superb offload in the contact, and Wilmore with the support. Here comes Tadman again, out wide, and maybe there's some space once again. Can they draw the final defender? Greasley streaking away for her hat-trick here at Brickfields, and what a way to do it. It was Murray that fed the final pass, but Chelsea Greasley with her hat-trick here in the Inter-Services Championships. Well, it doesn't get any more special than that, does it, for Chelsea Greasley? She's had to be patient. We said this is a horrible game for the conditions for the back three players, but a hat-trick on a day like today is something special.
Yeah, definitely scoring a hat-trick at Inter-Services would be a memorable moment, but it was really good interplay there for the RAF. They get in really good gain line because the Navy are not making their tackles up front, but then obviously the experience of Charlie Murray, staying square, draw that defender in and give it out to the winger so she can just run underneath the post. Really good.
The timing of this pass from Charlie Murray, she slowed down the run, drew the defender, and well, we said she's a a multidisciplinary player, really. Can hooker to scrum half today, to back row, and with the assist there as well.
Yeah, definitely. She was a player we missed out in New Zealand. She was on course, I believe, but it would have been really good to have her because she is an all-rounder, to be honest.
Well, approaching the final quarter of this game here at Brickfields in Plymouth. Sop with the kick once again.
Yeah, and Sean's on now for the Navy, so there's really good pressure from her straight away as well. So, you know, when you've got good line speeds and you're trying to catch that ball, it's really hard to not concentrate. So she just took her eyes off it and obviously knocked on.
Well, it's always slightly amusing on days like today when you see the finishers, the replacements, the substitutes come on the field in their perfectly pristine kits.
Yeah, but they'll be feeling the cold straight away.
Need a cup of tea when they get back in the changing rooms. Great charge from Maxwell. Straight into the game off the bench.
Just need a bit quicker ball, Navy. They're just slowing it down too much and it's giving the RAF time just to reset that defensive line.
Now Perry gets it away. Honeybell with the collision. That is a great counter ruck, but the Navy somehow get it away and through their hands now and again. Maxwell on the charge.
That was a great tackle from Kat Robertson then.
Got a bit of a break in play here then for this injury. Just mention to those of you watching on board HMS Scott today who are supporting a certain Sam Alderson, who is the most capped player for the Royal Navy women's team. So good afternoon to you on board HMS Scott. And a few of the mentions, where are we? Just saying, I think we've just about got through actually all the mentions so far, but you know, good to have you with us. And don't forget, we've got the men's game to look forward to as well. 3:15 kick-off this afternoon between the Royal Navy and the RAF, the senior men's competition getting underway when this is all done. But we've still got plenty of more rugby left in this one, and obviously, Jade, we need you to be thinking about your player of the match very, very soon for that lovely prize that's being given away today by our sponsors, and from Elliot Brown, who will receive a lovely watch for the player of the match. But it looks like we're going to be back in action very, very shortly.
I'm just wondering how the commentary team can get their watches as well. I'm not sure what we have to do. Scrum down to the Royal Navy here in Plymouth. Ryan Perry had a solid game today. Scrum half's been under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's always harder in these messy conditions as well because the ruck's never perfect.
Well, Swain does really well to ride the tackle and get the offload away, and that is superb from Dixon. Out wide now to McLaughlin. Shunted backwards.
Yeah, it's a really good tackle then, I think, by the winger.
Greasley keeping busy in defence as well as attack. Perry once more with the forwards through Honeybell and a deft offload. Sop.
It's really good pressure from the RAF so far, pinning the Navy and then making them go backwards.
Well, both teams today have built their performances off strong defence. It was the Navy in that first half, and now the RAF themselves as the looping pass out wide to McLaughlin. Cuts inside and shunted backwards again.
Yeah, she still had 5 metres of space on the edge. She should have backed herself, go outside and then cut in. She just decided to cut in too early there and then got her lined up by Kat.
Yeah, that's not the player you want to be running into, is it?
No, definitely not.
This time, Mealy, again, well read in defence from the RAF.
Yeah, if they just have a bit quicker ball again, they could have gone on the outside, but the RAF had time.
Double hit on Maxwell, who has been very busy since she entered the field, and Sop brushes off her shoulder.
Great counter up there by the RAF.
Might be on as Nye flicks the ball out wide, and here come the RAF. The kick forward hacked, and it came off a navy blue hand. Well, we are going to have a stoppage in play because I think Chloe Sop took an absolute clattering.
Yeah, she tried to square up in front of a forward, which is, not something that I would personally do. As a back, you try and get around them. So, yeah, probably a bit of naivety there.
RAF will get the line out because the ball did come off a Navy hand. And as we look towards the final 15 minutes of this game, it is the Royal Navy 10, the Royal Air Force 17 in this Inter-Services Championships, the first game of this 2023 campaign. Another replacement coming on for the Navy as well. Great to have so much support here early Saturday afternoon. It's not appealing summer rugby, is it? But the benefit of being in March is, as we said earlier, we start to get towards that springtime rugby sevens season as well.
And just a reminder, of course, the clocks go forward at 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, officially British summertime. So if you are watching around the UK, don't forget to put your clocks forward at 2 a.m. or around about 2 a.m. Tomorrow morning. I am told, actually, Ryan, thanks for getting back in touch with us from Australia. When he got in touch, it was 9:17 p.m. So work out for yourself the time. It's what, sort of 9:26 at the moment in the evening there, over there in Australia. But thanks for clarifying that, getting my clock sorted out ahead of British summertime starting.
Oh, well, we all thought that it was the RAF that were going to have the line up, but it's been awarded to the Navy, so there is still plenty of life in this game for them, and they have had high accuracy at the line out in this game. Now with some fresh blood, and doesn't find the mark but goes to the back anyway. Nicely taken by Sinclair. Sop over the defensive line and straight down the throat of Grundy. Now Berger into space. Broken field is what fullbacks love, and Berger gets it to Greasley, who can't break free this time. It's a nice 1-2, and Berger still skipping. Still in play, did well to get the offload off.
Yeah, really good attack in there from Berger, getting on outside the Navy, but really good turnover now and an opportunity to exit.
Well, the Navy cleared it through Perry, and Perry knew that they had the advantage, so it will be a scrum to the Royal Navy on their own 5-metre line.
Yeah, I think this is something both teams probably need to work on, is exiting. They both just seem to be kicking midfield, and when you've got people already dropped, it's a really good counter opportunity then, especially when there is no chase and you've got loads of time.
Should say Nicole Berger, no stranger to speed, because she finished third in the Forces Ice Championships in the skeleton, which I saw in Norway just a few weeks ago. So yeah, that was a great run from Nicole there, and unlucky not to sort of yield a bit more fruit out of that one.
Difficult set piece on your own 5-metre line defensively. Swain, though, is superb, picking up off the base. Sop again, this time a much better clearance kick as it bundles into touch.
Yeah, a better kick, but then again, I feel like that whole situation was rushed. Chloe looked like to be moving when the ball passed to her, so they just need better communication there and set the platform, get the blockers in, so Chloe can get in the best position so she can get a good execution of her kick.
Well, and again, another body on the deck and receiving some treatment from the physios. Difficult for the Navy at the moment, Jade, under all this pressure in their own 22. I just wonder at what point they fancy running it rather than kicking it. You know, I'm always a big fan of running it back, no matter the conditions.
Yeah, when your opposition kick the ball away, it's a win for you. You just get the ball back and get to attack again. So they should now look to try and stop the kick, look for attacking shape. You know, punch it up a few times and then try and go wide, and keep the ball in hand so they keep possession.
Lou Langton on at hooker for the RAF, and superb line-out ball. Nye fires it to Graham, who this time stands a bit deeper, and there's the big fend. Looking for the offload as well to hold it.
Again, Charlie Murray, her experience, you know, she's just stopped now being hooker and come out, and a really good carry from her.
Jenna-Lee Hughes off the bench as well for the RAF with the carry. Now into the 5-metre channel. Nye has lost the ball. It was a great snatch from Sinclair. But Sinclair was offside. Well, they take it quickly. Nye not resting on her laurels. Into the mud bath. Down into the red zone. Quick hands, better hands as well from the RAF.
Yeah, get it out wide now. They've got overlap. Really good defensive read there from Sean.
This time, Mahone, but it went forward. And all that pressure comes to nothing for the RAF.
Yeah, they just seemed a bit too flat there when they had drawn out wide. Too flat and too many people trying to take the ball on too close to the defensive line. So obviously they got the shot on, but then Sean read it really well, flew out and made the tackle with the ball.
Well, again, another bit of treatment this time for Kat Robinson. Struggling with a bit of cramp, it looks to be. Got her first cap for the RAF back in 2012. It's a long old time to be playing at this level. First went down our local rugby club, Aylesford St James in Leicester at the age of 14.
Yeah, she's a really good player, Kat. She came out to New Zealand with us as well. You know, really keen, hard tackler, listens well. So it's good that she's back on her feet.
A wonderful scrum. Absolute delight for the purists. There's the carry from Maxwell. His sock dropped back into the pocket. Well, that is rolling and bouncing nicely into touch.
Yes, good exit there, much better.
Well, another downpour ensues here in Plymouth. Brickfields, the host for our Royal Navy against the RAF double-header today. I think a confusion amongst the forwards.
Yeah, not sure who's off. I think is the comms there.
Well, Danny Scarp onto the field now. That's the perfectly clean light blue jersey. Well, that's a bit of a mess. I don't think anyone knew what was going on then.
Yeah, I think Navy are lucky there because I'm sure they just threw their player across the line. But, you know, you take advantage of what you get. So good scrum here and another attacking opportunity. Hopefully they can keep the ball in hands and get out wide.
And Danny's nice, clean number 2 jersey is clean no more after being at the bottom of that little melee there.
Yeah, she looked reluctant to drop on the ball, didn't she? But you've got to get muddy on a day like today. Into the final 10 minutes then, it is still the RAF who lead. And the 3 tries from their right winger, Chelsea Greasley.
I'm glad I'm not a forward, to be honest, looking at that.
I think we're all glad we're just not playing. Tough all day for these players, but it has been a highly competitive game. And considering the conditions, a joy to watch. And in all fairness, despite the muddy pitch, and they have moved just to the left to try and get a bit of firmer footing, the scrum set piece has been textbook, really.
Yeah, it's been really good, and you know, the half-time chat that for the RAF has clearly worked and been on the front foot. Navy been pinned back in their own half quite a bit now, so they just need this good attacking opportunity.
Penalty to the RAF. Possession with the RAF, and the game is within their grasp and within their sights. Well, we pause once again whilst the Navy get a bit of treatment. That is Rebecca Addis, who has been superb at the line-out. Accuracy today has been superb from her. Kick finds touch nicely from Graham.
Well, we've got just 5 minutes left, according to our watches, of this first inter-services game of the season, with the Royal Air Force leading by 17 points to 10. Jade, it's time for you to tell us who you think your player of the match is today.
So there's been a few standout players, to be honest, so it's been a pretty hard decision. Just to name a few, I thought Lucy's done really good, controlling making quick ball at 9 for RAF. For Navy, I think Ollie Critchley has performed really well, especially moving into the forwards. But for me, I think because of her adaptability, and she's been a good utility player and hard graft, and set up one of the tries, is Charlie Murray for me. She's played really well, strong ball carrying, and again transitioned to the forwards and played a bit of scrum half for 10 minutes whilst Lucy was having a rest.
Well, it was a great set piece, but it comes to nothing from the RAF. And Charlie Murray, to the RAF, number 7, your player of the match. I wonder what she's going to make of the watch.
Yeah, I don't know if she's a watch person, to be honest. So she might like it. If not, I'm sure she'll keep her as a nice ornament in her house.
Well, I think I would be a watch person if I'd got an Elliot Brown on my wrist, for sure.
So congratulations then to Charlie Murray, who is our Elliot Brown player of the match, and she'll be receiving that award at the end of the game.
Well, it's been a difficult final quarter for the Royal Navy, pinned back in their 22. They have struggled to get free. And once again, Perry well wrapped up. Starting to use the forwards and pump those thighs to find a way free.
Yeah, it's really good pressure off that scrum again. That was Charlie coming off, pressurising the 9, so they struggling to get out with the 22.
Berger, oh, well, that's picking up the muddy ball, almost had it.
Yeah, she was just thinking, I think, a phase too far ahead instead of just concentrating on just stopping and keeping hold of the ball. She was just seeing the space and just got a bit too excited.
It does, however, give a chance for the Royal Navy. Now on the edge of their half. Interesting to see Rhian Perry try and de-mud the ball by wiping it on what's left of the grass here at Brickfields.
Yeah, it's a very muddy pitch, so the lads should have a nice game this afternoon on it.
So, to the captain, Dixon. Oh, the pass from Alderson almost to Panaby, and she does well to make Harper break. Penalty advantage for a high tackle coming for the Navy. Surely they should take the kick and get the territory.
Yeah, you either want to do something spectacular on an advantage and try something, or you just, you know, ask the ref, get down the pitch, get a bit of territory, and then reset and go again.
My line out on halfway. A few cheers from the crowd as well now. You start to see a few more trickle in ahead of the men's kickoff a little bit later this afternoon. Well, the Navy lining up with a lot of depth out wide. Spill ball at the line out, no surprise. And it's the RAF who get possession back.
Yeah, if I was them, I'd go for a scrum now. Oh, there you go, good call.
See, backs do know about forwards work. Well, the set piece has been superb today, considering the conditions, both the line out, but particularly the scrum. And it's been a solid set piece from the RAF for the full 80 minutes.
Yeah, and they'll look now to, you know, end the game with another try, so a good attacking opportunity for them to run a strike play.
Loop around and almost a great read from Dixon. Here come the RAF though. Offload spilled and finally picked up by Lang.
Yeah, a nice strike play. Got in behind it in the Navy now, so which is good. So
Graham behind the dummy runners.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that. Sometimes it can be seen as obstruction.
Graham with the fend and offload out the back, and now it's with Mahone into the 22. More power from the RAF.
Really, I think it's a good turnover there from the Navy.
Well, Perry with the box into touch. Still 2 minutes on the clock. So we will have the line out for the Royal Navy. And I think at this stage it would be good to see them break free a little bit and throw the whole ship at it.
No pun intended.
No pun intended at all. Well, again, another stoppage for a bit of cramp. It's the cold, the rain and the mud. It just seeps into your bones, doesn't it, and makes it so difficult, particularly for those players who've played the full 80.
Yeah, when you're on a really muddy pitch, you feel like you're running in slow motion. So, you know, your legs will be really tired now, and especially front row doing a full 80, like, good on them. Especially with all the scrums and stuff. I couldn't do it.
It's 80 minutes of just heavy squats, isn't it? It's not easy. A valiant effort from both packs today. Well, it's the RAF with the line out on the 22. Great attacking position and lovely accuracy from the line out. No, just controlling things at the back.
Yeah, really good counter there from Navy, just messing that up. So the RAF couldn't attack from there.
Scrum down then to the Navy. Final chance for them. There is only one converted try in it, so do not discount them just yet.
Yeah, if I was them now, I'd be attacking in between that 13 winger channel. They've left a huge space. And if they can get the ball there and runners there, then they'll get out wide.
Great shove from the RAF. Out it comes with Swain, and Maxwell steps inside.
Yeah, to Navy there, they just need to get that ball out straight from the base of that scrum. The 8 carrying it just gives the defensive line time, but they got quite lucky with RAF being offside once again.
Well, they're taking it quickly into the final 60 seconds. Now the forward charge through Staples, sucking in the defence, and they have plenty of space towards that far touchline.
Yeah, even if they swing it now and attack out where Rose Dixon is, they'll have an opportunity to get out wide. They just keep running back in, and when you run back in, you're running into where all the big forwards are. So you want to stay away from that area.
Once again, the Navy sucking in the defence. Short ball to Swain, who carries and goes straight to ground. Dixon steps in at the breakdown. There's just so much space in these 15-metre channels. Penalty again to the Navy. Well, this could be interesting.
That was a much better kick there from Chloe. Just seemed a bit more composed then.
Incidentally coincides with just a bit of rain easing off as well. But we still have time for the line out, and we do need the accuracy for the Navy. Kira Gavin.
The Navy making number replace from number 17, AB Bloxham.
Alan Bloxham onto the field for the Royal Navy. Well, it's loose and in the mud. Perry gets it away to Sop, and Maxwell looks to cut inside, but another infringement from the RAF. And if you're the Royal Navy right now, you're just getting a sense of opportunity.
Yeah, you have. It's just, you know, at this time, you've got the clock against you, so they might have left it a bit too late. I hope not. Hopefully they can get the ball now and attack, but they seem to be wanting to run back in for some strange reason. If I was them, I'd be looking to get on the outside and attack that 13 winger channel. That's where it's the hardest place to defend, and that's where you want to compromise the back line.
Again, Gavin looking for her mark. To the front, almost collected. It's gone forward. And that is signed, sealed, delivered. Well, in our first game of this Inter-Services Championships, it is the RAF who have taken the spoils with a hat-trick from their right winger, Chelsea Greasley. Final scores from Brickfields then. The Royal Navy 10, the RAF 17.
Yeah, a terrific game of rugby union played in appalling conditions here at Brickfields, and I think great credit has to go, Jade and and Scott, to both of these teams today for the way they've performed. And John Wilding, who's the RAF head coach, has just popped up here to the gantry to talk to us. John, first of all, congratulations. My word, that was one heck of a game.
Told you it would be, when I said it would be a really good, tough game. Credit to the Navy, they made it really tough for us. They played really well. Conditions were tough, but I've got to give loads of credit to our girls. Half-time, conceding a score at half-time, coming in. You know, we said some stern words, but they pulled out the bag and dominated the second half. Credit to them.
Well, credit to both teams, because everyone's given their all out there, and in these conditions, it's such a great leveler, isn't it?
It is, but as I said before, the Navy are a better team than a lot of people give them credit for, and they deserve tons of credit here. It was a hell of a game before the weather came down. Weather did make it a proper game of rugby, and a proper, as I used to remember the old inter-services, where it was a proper hard game of rugby. That was that there, and you can tell by the players on the pitch now what it means to them. So yeah, couldn't be prouder. And
Charlie Murray is a player of the match. I mean, great performance from her, and so many, but a great hat-trick as well. You must be delighted for Chelsea.
Chelsea, she's come on leaps and bounds. Really disappointed not to make the squad last year. It's gone away and done the work that we wanted us to do. Came in today and dominated in training camp this week. Dominated the position, and look what she does. Charlie Murray, gone from being a Welsh centre winger to try scorer to number 7 player of the match. Can't say any more than that.
John, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations to the RAF. So first blood in this Inter-Services Championship, and obviously Gloucester now in a fortnight time, and obviously Jade Mullin here, looking forward very much to that little battle that's going to be going on very shortly. Hopefully we'll be going down to pitch side for the presentations, but just before we do that, to both of you, I think the rain's actually just about stopping now, which has been ironic, hasn't it, because it's been rain for the whole match, and at half-time it stopped raining. But these conditions really made good rugby very, very difficult, but they actually defied the conditions today, both teams.
Yeah, they definitely did. I said it earlier, I hate playing when it's raining, because you really do want to have a dry ball so you can get a quick play. But they adapted really well and played really well, so it's good on them.
So I think we can now go down pitch side to hear from the player of the match.
Thank you very much, thank you. It was definitely a team prize, so I think everybody got a woman on the match, person on the match. So thank you to my team, our new family, and hopefully...
Do you know, after all of that, we've got to do it again. We've got to do it again.
Okay,
so
right.
Nothing like live TV, Charlie. Oh, we're back again. Look, Charlie, congratulations. Significant performance by yourself today. Well done. Great shift. And I'm delighted to say that you are the player of the match. And because of that, we're going to award you this marvellous Elliot Brown watch. Brilliant. Like you, it's pretty robust. Hopefully it'll be a lasting memento, and please don't look after it.
Thank you very much for that. Again, it is a team prize, and I want to thank the new family that we've got and the family that went before us. Wouldn't do this without them, so thank you very much.
Well, it was a winger's day. Chelsea Greasley.
Wow.
3 tries. You started your rugby career out on the wing, and you've gradually moved forward. Now you're in the back row.
Yeah, I'll just whip it out to the newbies and the fresh legs, and that's it really. So, but no, we've got so many new players on our team and in our new family. and they are phenomenal. So please keep watching our team, keep supporting, because we've got so much to show.
Where was it won and lost? Because at half-time things were looking a bit dicey for the Royal Air Force, wasn't it? You were trailing on the scoreboard, things not quite working for you. So where was it won today?
To be honest with you, you've got to appreciate new people coming into a team and family bonding. It's going to take time, but at the end of the day, we pulled it out of the bag and we bonded really, really well, and that's the performance you saw.
Loving the face mask, that'll do wonders for you. Go and enjoy your teammates. Congratulations and well done, Charlie. Well done.
So Charlie Murray then receiving the applause as the player of the match, and she collects her trophy there, the Elliot Brown watch, which has been given to her as the player of the match. And I should say that also our three officials today, our referee, Captain Rob Hitch, Major Matt Ray, and Damien Walker, Damien Walker, also receiving the same as the player of the match as well from our official timing sponsors here for the competition. Just wrapping things up with just the last few bits here with the presentations just happening now on the field in front of us for what has been a terrific opening match in this season's Inter-Services Rugby Championship here at Brickfields, as the RAF players now receive their trophies, their medals for winning the game here, but a brilliantly gallant effort from the Royal Navy, who really gave everything on the pitch, and there's not been much left out on the pitch by either of those two teams, has there?
No, not at all, and they have left most of their clean shirts out on the pitch too. It's going to be an interesting game in the men's this afternoon, but yeah, these two squads have left everything out on the pitch, and certainly well deserved from Charlie Murray, because she was everywhere, throwing in at hooker, demolition tackles in the back row, and of course stepping in at scrum half too. And yeah, Lucy Nye, she went off for a sin bin in that first half, so they played 70 minutes with or 10 minutes with 14 men, or 14 players rather, so difficult from them.
Presentation will be made by Captain Susie Nelson, who's the Vice President of Royal Navy Rugby.
So the trophy lifted then by the victorious Lucy Nye, RAF's women's captain, and it's first blood to them in this season's Inter-Services Championship. 2 weeks' time, of course, will be the second date when Jade and co from the Army will be taking them on. I'm sure, Jade, you can't wait. You're absolutely looking forward to that battle. But loads of messages coming in, as you can imagine, loads of them from lots of fans from both the Navy and the RAF. Awesome effort from the Royal Navy. Well done, says Gareth Rees. Brenda Ellis says, brilliant game, ladies. Well done to you all. Thank you for the coverage. We've loved it. Delighted to hear that. Diana Bird says, phew, well done the RAF, but a great game. Justin Scholes says, well played the RAF in appalling conditions. Simon Edelston, Army, what do you expect? You can't count. Ha ha ha. I'm not quite sure what that's all about, Simon, but he does say well done to the RAF. Justin Scholes, Kat and Danica Wilmore, awesome performances today. And Keith Atkins says well done to the RAF, and we've got loads of messages still coming through. But that's just about it from our coverage here of this opening match in the Inter-Services. Don't forget, we will be back here in just over an hour's time at 3 o'clock in time for the 3:15 kickoff, when the men take to the field here at Brickfields. But from myself, from Jade, and from Scott and the rest of the team here at Brickfields, thank you very much indeed for joining us, and join us again in just over 1 hour's time.